There are 7 things you must keep private. Never share them with anyone. Not your best friend, not your girlfriend, not even your family. Stoicism teaches us to keep most things to ourselves, because the more you reveal, the easier you are to destroy. Niccolo Machiavelli warned us, everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are. That's not a quote, that's a warning. Machiavelli didn't say this word for word, but he lived it. And in The Prince, he made one thing clear: if you want to stay in control, reveal nothing. The more you reveal, the easier you are to break. People smile in your face, but behind that smile, they're collecting information, and if you give them the wrong piece of information, especially the last one, they might use it against you later. So today, I'm giving you 7 things you should never reveal to anyone. They seem harmless, but they expose you. They make you easy to manipulate. Listen carefully. This could save your reputation, and maybe even your life. Your next move. You tell people your goals, your strategies, your vision, thinking they'll support you. But in silence, they begin to chip away at it. They pretend they care, but what they're really doing is undermining your momentum. They question it. They doubt it. Not because they care, but because they fear what you'll become. Your plan isn't safe in other people's heads. It's safe when it's done. Here's the truth. People secretly don't want you to rise above them. Friends become critics when your ambition grows louder than theirs. And if your next move threatens their comfort, they'll sabotage you with a smile. They act supportive, but they're waiting. Let them wait forever. Power moves in silence. You don't need validation. You need results. If they see the move before it's made, they'll block it. If they see it after it's made, they'll fear it. And when you fail after hyping yourself up, now you've given them something even more powerful, evidence to laugh at you. Don't give them that. Move in silence. Let results do the talking. The second you reveal your next move, you expose your ambition, and ambition triggers one of 2 reactions. Insecure people will try to lower it, and competing people will try to sabotage it. This is why smart men move in silence. They speak with actions. They don't explain their dreams, they deliver them. Let me give you a real-world example. You tell a friend you're launching a business. They hit you with, "Are you sure that's smart right now? Isn't that risky? You're going to leave your stable job for that." Now, stop. Were they really concerned for your well-being, or were they afraid you might actually break free? People will throw doubt at you dressed as advice. They'll use your old self to hold back your future self. "Oh, but you're not that type of guy. You're not even good at that. You've never done something like that before." Let me be blunt here. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't need permission to evolve. You don't need validation to act. Machiavelli wrote, "It is double pleasure to deceive the deceiver." Don't mistake this for dishonesty. He meant play the game, but stay 2 steps ahead. Let others think they know your moves, while you execute the real ones in silence. Because the truth is, when they know your next move, they can block it, delay it, steal it, or plant seeds of doubt before you even start. Think of the most powerful people in history. They didn't announce their next move. They didn't broadcast their intentions. They moved, then let the world react. Julius Caesar didn't post a plan before crossing the Rubicon. Alexander didn't tweet before launching a campaign. Machiavelli didn't ask for feedback before manipulating the state. Today's world tricks you into thinking you have to share, that transparency is strength. It's not. Silence is strength. Your weakness. The second you tell the wrong person your weakness, you become a target. You might think you're being honest, but they're taking notes. They're storing your pain like ammo. Marcus Aurelius said, "Be tolerant with others, be strict with yourself." That means you deal with your internal pain without broadcasting it for validation. Why? Because most people don't care, and the ones who do are watching to see when you bleed so they know where to strike. What you see as a cry for help, they see as leverage. You bleed in front of them, and they pretend to stitch the wound. then cut deeper when it serves them. Your enemies are often people you once called friends. You need to understand this. You never expose what you haven't mastered. Your weakness is your responsibility, not your announcement. Stop expecting others to carry your emotional weight. You bleed in front of the wrong person once, and you'll pay for it forever. Don't believe me? Look at the last time someone used your own words against you in an argument. That friend who remembered what you said in weakness. That relative who laughed about your fear months later. That ex who exposed your deepest insecurity after the breakup. They don't forget. They collect. Never forget this. Your enemies were once your confidants. Your biggest betrayals will come from familiar faces, and the wounds that hurt the most will be the ones you volunteered. So what do? You build yourself up in private. You conquer your demons behind closed doors. You become the kind of man who masters his wounds, not markets them. And if you're thinking, but I need support, let me tell you something. Support is earned through strength, not tears, because in a world full of emotional exhibitionists, the man who is stoic, who is unreadable, that's the man they respect. He's unpredictable, he's powerful, he's untouchable. You don't walk around showing your cracks. You become the storm that doesn't break. Your income. The richer you get, the quieter you need to be. There's a reason old money is quiet and new money is loud, because real power doesn't shout, it watches. Start talking about how much you earn, and watch how fast people start playing games. Suddenly, you're the target of comparison, jealousy, and judgment. People stop seeing you, they see your wallet. Money doesn't just change your lifestyle, it changes how people treat you. You tell someone your income, and they begin calculating how to use you, how to beat you, or how to destroy you. The richer you get, the quieter you must become. Money doesn't buy loyalty, it buys attention, and most of it is fake. Power isn't in showing what you have, it's in making them wonder, make them guess, make them uncomfortable not knowing. Remember this, silence is the ultimate flex. If they don't know what you have, they can't control how they treat you. Let them assume, because mystery invites respect, and power grows best when it's hidden. That's why the true Machiavellian doesn't show his wealth. Money is a weapon, and you never show your weapons before the war starts. Flex it, and you become predictable. Stay silent, and you stay in control. Think about the people around you. You tell them how much you make, and suddenly they think you owe them something. They want help. They want to drag you into their drama because you can afford it. And if you say no, you're the villain. Not because you changed, but because their fantasy of using you just collapsed. Never expose your relationship conflicts. Have you ever seen someone post online, "Can't believe what she did to me again. She's acting cold and distant"? Relationships are hard, but posting that is weakness broadcasted. Let me paint you a scene. You fight with your partner. You feel hurt, betrayed, confused. So, you go tell your friend or your group chat. You spill the details, the words, the insults, the chaos. You think you're getting support, but what you're actually doing is broadcasting your instability. Now everyone knows your connection is shaky. Now everyone sees your power slipping. And when people see cracks, they don't help fix them. They wait for collapse. Here is the law. Never expose your relationship conflicts, because once you do, you've handed over your power. You've turned your personal life into public entertainment. And the worst part, no one watching actually cares, and the world is full of people who smile while sharpening the knife. Your relationship is your battlefield, and nobody outside the battlefield deserves a map of your emotional vulnerabilities. Once your relationship problems go public, you stop being respected. You become a character, a meme, a tragic story in someone else's group chat. They see your emotional leash. They see you controlled by love, by chaos, by drama, and respect disappears. Because when you share your conflicts, you reveal your emotional dependence. That's not power, that's weakness in high definition. What you say in pain becomes their entertainment, their leverage, their ammo. You tell them your girlfriend disrespected you, they laugh about it later. You say your girlfriend cheated and you stayed, they never look at you the same again. You're no longer the mysterious man in control, you're the soap opera, the fragile one, the one they expect to break again. Never let people turn your heartbreak into their small talk. If your relationship is sacred, keep it sacred. If it's hell, fix it or leave it, but don't parade the fire like a badge. Never share your family problems. You think telling people about your family problems makes you honest. You think being open about your childhood trauma or your father's absence will make them understand you. No, it makes them judge you. People don't care, they gossip. Say it again, people don't care, they consume your pain like entertainment. When you share your family problems, you think you're getting support, but what you're really giving them is a story, and people love a story, especially one that makes you look weak. Here's the law. Never reveal your family problems, ever. I don't care if it's your co-workers, your social media followers, or even some so-called friends. Keep it locked down, because when you reveal the chaos inside your home, you strip yourself of dignity outside of it. People don't separate you from your family, they project the dysfunction onto you. They'll say things like, "No wonder he's like that." They'll act sympathetic, then screenshot your breakdown and serve it as a joke at the next dinner party. Why? Because your pain feeds their ego. It gives them someone to feel superior to, someone to talk about when their lives are boring. Machiavelli wrote, "It is double pleasure to deceive the deceiver." Don't mistake this for dishonesty. He meant play the game, but stay 2 steps ahead. Let others think they know your moves, while you execute the real ones in silence. Because the truth is, when they know your next move, they can block it, delay it, steal it, or plant seeds of doubt before you even start. Never share your long-term goals. I'm not talking about your next vacation. I'm talking about that empire you're trying to build. The business, the version of you no one's seen yet. That vision, keep it sacred, keep it private. You ever wonder why some people never get anywhere, even when they have big dreams? Because they talked too much. You had a vision, then you told someone, they clapped, you felt good, and that was the beginning of the end. Most people mistake talking about success for actually building it. If they don't know what you're building, they can't block it. If they don't know how far you want to go, they can't trap you in place. If they don't know who you're becoming, they can't stop it. Keep them in the dark while you become the storm. Let me hit you with a brutal truth. Most people don't want you to win long term. They want you to improve a little, but not too much. They want you to do well, but not better than them. They'll support you until your growth threatens their self-worth. You ever notice that? You start a side hustle, and people say, "Why don't you focus on your job instead?" You start investing in yourself, and they ask, "Who do you think you are?" You set a 5-year plan, and they laugh. Bro, that's unrealistic. These are the same people who scroll all day, the same ones who gave up on their dreams years ago, and now they hate that you still believe in yours. When you keep your long-term goals secret, you create mystery. Mystery builds tension. Tension commands attention, and attention leads to power. This is the danger of sharing long-term goals. They trigger fake dopamine. The brain can't tell the difference between accomplishment and applause. You talk, they cheer, and your brain thinks, mission complete, but nothing's been done. No product, no system, no struggle, no sacrifice, just a fantasy you murdered with your own mouth. Never reveal your biggest regrets. They'll act like they care. They'll nod while you speak. They might even share a story of their own. But the moment you reveal your deepest regret, your biggest failure, or your most painful past, they'll never see you the same again. The truth is, most people aren't equipped to carry your past. They weaponize it, they store it, they wait. And the second you pose a threat, succeed more than they expected, or dare to set boundaries, they'll throw it back at you. Your regret becomes their leverage. They'll say things like, "You think you've changed? Weren't you the same guy who, it doesn't matter if it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or last week, your vulnerability becomes their opportunity. This is the cost of confession in a ruthless world. You think you're being real, but they think they found your leash. That's why Machiavelli warned that it is much safer to be feared than loved. Regret invites sympathy, and sympathy lowers your position. People don't respect who you were, they respect who you pretend not to be anymore. You want to confess, do it to God, do it to your journal, not to the friend who gossips, not to the partner who one day might leave, and not to the co-worker who smiles too much, because your past will always be more interesting to others than your future. They don't ask because they care. They ask because they want a weakness they can remember. So what do? You lock it, bury it, use it as fuel, not as a story. Turn your biggest regret into silent discipline. Let your future be so dominant that it makes your past entirely irrelevant. Conclusion: most people never become dangerous, not because they lack power, but because they overshare, they overtrust. They move loud and early, leaking their goals, their fears, and their fire, until nothing is left but noise. Now think, how many wins have you destroyed by talking too much? How many steps did you slow down just by explaining yourself? Move in silence. Let your results roar.